Let's take a look at the figures for Asheville, North Carolina. This is the zip code 28801, and we're doing a quick report for May 2024. Now, these figures change all the time. Don't hesitate to reach out, 828-333-4483 for up-to-date figures. So the one here we're looking at is the home price forecast. That means where does it think, based on all kinds of criteria, where home prices are going to go. So if we dig into this a little bit, we can look right here and see that in April 2022, the home price forecast was 66. Let's say 50 is balanced, a balanced sellers and buyers market. So here it's pretty flat. We're doing okay. It's neither, supply and demand is pretty balanced. That's where you want it to be. So we look back in 2022, April, the home price forecast is 66. Again, this is a 28801 downtown Asheville. So since then, it's, had some ups and downs like all of these charts do. We all know all of that. Had a brief rebound. We got down to balanced in August 2023. And then it jumped up hardly anything. Didn't even get above 50. And now we're down to 48. We just dipped below the line. So, which technically means we're a buyer's market, but it really doesn't. It's a nice balanced market in 28801. Why is that important? Now, are we expecting it to go down a little bit? Maybe. If let's have a look at the home price forecast number on there. It's not actually showing it right now. That's okay. But it's going to be fairly balanced. It's going to be this, actually it's 50 right here. We can see it's 49 right now. So that number will be 49. So what it's saying is it's balanced. Now, it hasn't been balanced. That means if you're selling, what does this mean for sellers? If you're selling your home, you want to get it on as quickly as possible. Part of this is most likely caused by a lot of inventory coming on the market. So, let's check that out. Let's look at the other factors we can see there. Home value. We see it going up through the roof. Where is this coming from? Well, it's Asheville, and many of our buyers, for example, are coming in from elsewhere. And here's the thing. Many of them are just looking for Asheville. They don't know areas outside. So they're like Asheville. That drives prices up because there's more of a demand. So that's part of it. We're now sitting here, which blows my mind. 500, this is 28801, remember, this is not Buncombe County. And when you see people quote figures by a county or, North Carolina, or how values are doing across the country, it means nothing. Quite frankly, even if a zip is very large, it's block to block, this will change. So, of course, we can help you with that as well. But a zip's about as tight as you can get right now. So the latest figures, so this is the end of March, it's 577,000. 577,000. To put that into perspective, when I started in real estate back in 2007 over here, we're at 223, nearly 224. 224 all the way up to 578, nearly 579. So that's kind of important, right? But it did take a little dip here, back up, and I expect to see some of those values going down. As a seller, you're getting peak value right now. If you want to sell and you don't want to wait those 10 years, Clement Juglar, a 7 to 11 year cycle that he came up with in back in 1860, nothing has changed. It's the economic cycle. The housing cycle follows it. We crested overall in this market. I don't like it when people say overall, but we crested in this market over a year ago. So if you're selling, get out there. If you're buying and you need to buy, go ahead and do it. If you're going to stay in the home for 7 to 10 years, who cares? It'll be worth more anyway. They always go up. Well, not always. We can never state that. But history has shown us they've always gone up in every cycle by a significant amount. So you're fine. It really doesn't matter. So let's now have a look at home value growth year over year. And I'll skip through the rest of these pretty quickly. So, that's a bit of a mess, isn't it? We've got monthly there. Let's look at yearly, because sometimes that makes it a little easier. That's not really helping either. You can see the growth there, April 21 to 22, 450. So it's gone up 20%. The last year it's gone up 1.2%. And here, 4.9%. So pretty flat there, but you can see we probably peaked over here at 20% increase. Of course, if we go back to the good old years, not really, not if you're a seller. You can see much deeper troughs in there. So that's home value growth. How much are we overvalued? This is a critical one. Very interesting, right? So again, 0 is nice and balanced. Right now, according to all of the data on here, this is an estimate of how overall undervalued current home values are in the area are relative to the fundamentals dictated by local median incomes. All kinds of things are put in here, but it's interesting to look at these estimates as to how much it's overvalued. We are sitting at 23.8. I know I've looked at these in many different markets and many different zip codes. That's pretty high. What it means when we're overvalued is we're in a bit of a bubble, right? So for investors, so what does this mean to sellers? Sell it. We think it's overvalued. Therefore, by the way, we found 3 factors on here that mean sell it right now. If you're buying, again, we are likely to see, who knows? We don't have a crystal ball, but this is a projection based on where the valuation sits. Does the valuation mean that it's going to decline? Not necessarily. However, it's a good factor to consider for that. Like investors right now, they'll consider a lot of factors, but this is one when you look at how overvalued we are. That's why the investors go for the undervalued markets, and I can find you those based on zip code. The value to income ratio, always an interesting one in Asheville because our incomes don't tend to be terribly high here. This is the nice balanced bit right here. So I've got all kinds of videos on what any of this means. Mortgage payment, what does that mean? An estimate of the mortgage payment, including the interest, property taxes, insurance, what they can expect in each area. Do you see how this mortgage payment has gone up? Oh, interesting. You can see how dramatically it's gone up because of the increases here. From 2021, we're expecting to pay $1,778 per month, and $1,000 on top of that. We'll just ignore the principal and interest right now. So just the basic mortgage payment, $1,778. Oops, that's gone up to $3,885. Talk about affordability. And obviously that rate's much higher. Mortgage rate 6.99. You can see this on the video, all the way down to 3.06 over here. I can make you a video based on your zip code anywhere in the country, by the way. Mortgage payment as a percentage of income. Oh, gosh. So here's the nice balance line right here. Property tax rate. Wonder what's happened to the property tax rate. Not enough data on this one. Buy versus rent differential. This is always a very interesting one. 146.28%. I can go in depth for anybody who's actually thinking about renting. So this one compares the cost of buying a house, looking at the mortgage payment, to the cost of renting an apartment. So the higher the percentage, which obviously we've gone through the roof here, the more expensive it is to buy compared to rent. Look what's happened. So this is why you'll see a lot of videos out there on social media saying, don't bother buying right now. You really want to rent instead. I'm not commenting on that. I'm just saying that's why you're seeing all of that. Percentage change from June 2022. I can make you a video on your zip code for any of these. Yikes. How much have home prices declined in the biggest housing crash of all time? From 2007 to 2012 in this area based on that particular zip code. So that gives you some historical data, which may or may not be interesting to you. Home value growth month on month. You see how many pieces of data we've got here. For sale inventory, this is a very important one. So we are at 49. This is looking at the number of active listings as a given month. Here is the balance line right here. You're going to see it go above. So an average of 59. We're not too far off that now. 2020, we had 76. We're down at 49. We've gone up from 48, down from 25 here when it was really, really low. It's going up, guys. Supply and demand, which means as a buyer, that's good news. You'll be able to see more homes for sale. Sale inventory growth year over year. Here's another one. I'm just doing this so you can pause on it. Give us a call, 828-333 44.83. If you want more of these figures, we should do median listing price. This is how it's coming out of the gate. Look, it's gone down. Medium listing price has gone from 800 in 28801 down to 644. It still sounds like a really high price given where we came from, right? So down in the lull, in the trough, we were at just under 500,000. And then it went up to 2019, 503. It's only 5 years ago, guys. And now we're to 644. Do you see how these prices, the median listing price is dropping? And I can go into these in depth on a Zoom call with you or anything else. We've got population, we've got home ownership rate, we've got investor metrics, rental rate, rent for houses, cap rate. You can look at the cap rate in a certain zip code. This is really incredible. Home price forecast. What's the recent appreciation? What's the days on market? It's very interesting to look at the days on market. So it's gone down a little bit. We're in the spring. More people are buying, but we're only looking at April right here, not May. We'll see what happens in May. So obviously that's about a month and a half. This is the key zip code, guys, 28801. I can tell you there's lots of key zip codes in a market where they are not sitting on the market for a month and a half. This is a month and a half. This is 28801. I can show you them around the mountains where they're sitting longer, but I'm kind of surprised that it's so short. You'll see back in 2021, in December, it was only 28. So any of these that you'd like, just go ahead. Let's look at price cuts. That's very important. Price cuts. This is the normal line right here. We've actually gone down. There's less price cuts. We've gone up just a little bit there. So we want to watch that very carefully. Any of these you'd like to watch, give us a call, 828-333-4483. This is Rowena Patton at AllstarPowerhouse, brokered by EXP.